Mission accomplished.
Seat as though I was like, pleasure to meet you, Your Majesty. Like, was that okay?
But wait, there's more.
The conversation of he won't be given security, he's not going to be given a title. And also concerns and conversations about how dark his skin might be when he's born.
Hold up.
Hold up.
There's
Stop
several
right now.
There's several conversations.
There's a
about
conversation with you
with Harry
about how dark your baby is going to be?
potentially and what that would mean or look like.
Oprah, they're so racist. That's not racist. Because even black people want to know. How brown the baby gonna be?
That conversation I'm never going to share.
Ooh, this is uncomfortable.
We'll talk when we get home.
Well, hello, my queens. How are you? Welcome to our Sunday night reading of Betrayal by Tom Bauer. Let's see who's here in the house this Sunday evening. Doris is here. Janice is here. CB is here. Ren Wallace, Ruth Carroll. Hello, everybody. So glad you could be here. I'm very excited. I just feel like week after week it gets better and better, doesn't it? I'm really curious the whole lawsuit that Harry has going on right now in court, what the outcome of that's going to be. Very, very curious. It seems like the case has been over for weeks, hasn't it? I'm not following it that closely, so maybe not, but it feels like a very long time. I'm not quite sure what the deliberation is that's going on. Maybe it's who has the most money behind the scenes to pay off, said judge. I don't know. But that ought to be interesting. And now we have the whole drama of Meghan, Harry wants to bring Meghan and the kids to the event where they just celebrate the fact that Invictus is going to happen next year. Harry's so desperate to get back to England that he will come up with any excuse. We're going to celebrate the 1 year countdown to Invictus. They didn't do the 2 year countdown or the 3 year countdown, but we're going to do the 1 year countdown because that one, I don't know, maybe he'll come back and they'll do a 6 month countdown. Unsure. Sarah's here. Hi, Sarah. And drink a brewski. Hello, and welcome to your first live. Feel free to drink a brewski as we go along. I have a little Pepsi Zero Sugar Wild Cherry. There you go. The reason why I was leaning over is because I found this in the refrigerator and it was half open. So I put some ice in my cup and the cup already had some stuff in it. So it's a hodgepodge actually, along with some water and cherry flavored packet of something. Don't know. It's good though. It's good all together. Not very rural. I don't have my teacup here, but I could drink it with my pinky out. Janice, it is delicious. It really is. Refreshing. A little bit of bubbly, whole lot of cherry. All right. I never mark exactly which. I mark which page I end. Well, I don't even know which page because I've folded over. It could be this page, it could be this page. So we usually end up doing a little bit of review, but it's always good to review too. Oh, I do remember reading this. This is Harry's. All right, we'll start back here just so that those of you who weren't here last week can catch up a little bit. We're basically at the point where Harry's just complaining. He is the most unhappy royal, born with a golden spoon in his mouth, silver spoon. Gold's worth more than silver. Born with a golden spoon in his mouth, young prince I have ever met. Duke now, right? He went from prince. What made him go from prince to duke? What caused that? Was that when his father became king? Or did he become a duke when he became a certain age? Because William and Catherine used to be the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, and now they're prince and princess. I feel like they became prince and princess when Charles became king. That kind of moved them up into the prince and princess realm. But it's also Prince Harry. Is he a duke or is he a prince? Or can you be both? So confusing. Us Americans are just lost with the whole hierarchy. Okay, I shouldn't say all of us. Some of us Americans are highly lost with the whole hierarchy of it all and the changing of titles. The only title change I'm looking forward to is Meghan getting stripped of her Duchess title. That will be, we will celebrate. I will get my little teacup out and it will be filled with straight amaretto on the rocks. I'll throw one cube in there and we will drink on that day. May that happen. That'd be lovely. All right. Okay. Crafty Nana's joined us too. Hi, Crafty Nana. Welcome. Oh, he's both Ruth, Carol. Okay. So he's a prince and a duke. Make that make sense. I thought it was a hierarchy. Apparently not. I got to learn more about my titles, royal titles. I've never looked into it. Clearly. All right. So can Meghan, if he is Prince Harry, can Meghan be princess? No, because she would call herself a princess if she could. Why can Harry be a prince, but his wife not be a princess? Because Catherine is Princess Catherine. She's not Duchess anymore, right? I feel like she was Princess Catherine a long time ago. I don't remember her being, I remember them being the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge. Maybe they were the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, but referred to as Prince William and Princess Catherine. Possibly. I don't know. I'm sorry. I should have done that little rambling in between reading since I'm supposed to stop every now and then and comment. All right, so let's go back here. Let's see. Trusting the lawyer. Let me turn it this way. I should have something to put this on so you can see the title a little bit too. Let's see if I can move this over here. Let me move my Prince Harry spare book that I just got to balance it on. There we go. Okay, Sarah said, I think they're both princes because they're from the male line of the monarch, but he received his duchy when he was married. Oh. Oh, right, because when he was little, they called him prince. They would call them princes, didn't they? So he's been a prince ever since. He's always been a prince. And then, so okay, my next question, if anyone knows this, would being a duke and duchess be more prestigious than prince and princess, or they're just a whole different thing? Oh, that's why Archie and Lilibet. I like how autocorrect put it, Lilienthal are prince and princess because they're from the male line. I will enjoy the removal of those titles as much as Meghan's. Harry can keep his, whatever. But at least Lilibet, because Meghan seems to be obsessed with her, and we don't hear anything about Archie. And since she would be, I mean, they wouldn't get rid of one and then the other. So, but anyway, only because I've got nothing against the kids, whatever. I mean, it was just we don't have titles here in America. So when she uses her title, I'm like, whatevs. The only title, and the only people who get security here too, that's the other thing. They want to have like government paid security. They want to have that top level security. So wherever they go in the world, that government has to pay for their security. No, not in America. You have to be in government to get security. You have to be president, vice president, a senator. I don't even know if our congressmen get security. I don't think they do. Okay, it just has to do with land ownership. Okay, so the next question is, does Harry still own any land in the area of Sussex, I suppose? I mean, they should just build a freaking house there. They keep making a big deal out of where they're going to stay. Last time he came, he had to stay at a hotel room because he wasn't invited by his dad to stay there, and his dad got rid of I keep forgetting all the names of it. There's so many. I did not know until I started reading the last book and following the royal family a little bit how many castles there are. I thought there was one. Just it seems like every time they show it, I always just think it's the same one. I think it's the one that you see on TV that has the big circle in front of it that you can go Buckingham, I think. But I'm like, oh no, but Windsor sounds really familiar. Windsor. Buckingham. Okay, so maybe they have two. And then now it's gone on, and I'm like, I just can't even keep track of how many. Okay. Hi, Key Queen. If he does own land, I bet his dad is in charge of it. Oh, yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Well, his dad is a little weak. He has a hard time separating royal duties and fatherhood. I don't understand why the two of them can't just get together without a camera and without announcing it to the world and without Harry starting to say, I would like to have an invite to stay at the castle for my father. Okay, it's none of our business, Harry. Keep it to yourself. Everything's a big deal. Okay. Trusting the lawyer, Harry admitted, I could have been hacked on a daily basis. I simply don't know. All he knew was their intrusion had been horrendous. Similarly, he also said that Meghan was the prey for online hunters. Yeah. Good defense. I could have been hacked. Guess what, Harry? I could be hacked on a daily basis. I don't know either. Nobody's paying for me to have any kind of security. Just saying. Okay. Harry went further, though. He blamed the media for his own mistakes. Drunkenness, drugs, wearing a Nazi uniform at a party, and being filmed nude in a Las Vegas hotel. Newspapers, he believed, should have suppressed the truth. He made no allowance that other royals had suffered worse, not at least Charles and Camilla, with the excruciatingly embarrassing tampon gate recorded in 1989, and his mother with Squiddygate, taped calls of her conversations in the late 1980s with her lover, James Gilby. Now, Harry, I don't think hers were quite as embarrassing as Charles was. Tampon Gate was bad. Tampon Gate was really bad. How, Harry asked Sherborne, could he find a way to stop the abuse, intrusion, and hate that was coming toward me and my wife? In the past, his desire to attack the media had been blocked by the palace, but now he wanted to wage war. except in public, he spoke about his life's mission to reform the media. The palace, he explained, he doesn't want to reform the media. I just want to say, Harry wants to control the media. Harry wants final veto on everything that gets published. He wants to be a dictator, is what he wants. Because he's fine if they say nice things about him, just like his wife is. But if they say something not flattering, off with their heads. The palace, he explained, had blocked his previous attempts for retribution by citing a secret agreement between the news group and Buckingham Palace concluded in 2012 or earlier. To keep the media on side while Charles smoothed Camilla's path to become queen, the royal family had agreed not to sue the news group for hacking their telephones. In 2017, continued Harry, the royal family, with the Queen's agreement, concluded a settlement with Murdoch for the news group's unlawful information gathering. William was paid £1 million, but Harry received nothing. Therefore, said Harry, Charles discouraged him from bringing a claim against the news group. There was no evidence, Charles had said, that Harry had been hacked. His father, said Harry, had been involved in the cover-up. So, just to be clear, there was unlawful receiving wiretapping that was happening at Buckingham Palace. And the news group, I guess it's called, I don't know what the news group is involved, but they were involved in hiring thugs, I guess, to do the wiretapping and get the information. And then they printed it. And then Buckingham Palace was going to sue them. And of course they would have won. However, at this point, Diana had passed away. Camilla was already being included in everything. And she would eventually one day become queen. And therefore, I don't know if she at this point was, she may have been, I don't know. I don't know if at this point she was married already to Charles or not, but she clearly was going to be the woman in his life and one day queen, because it would be inappropriate for the single king to just keep having a woman on the side. So they were going to get married if they weren't already. So in order to smooth the path for that and to keep the media from just writing horrendous things about her, making the public hate her even more because they didn't like her because everyone liked Diana, the people's princess, they made an agreement and said, okay, the queen at the time said, okay, we will not sue you, but you can't be writing negative things about Camilla. And they agreed. However, there was a small settlement included with this. And in that settlement, William received £1 million. So, of course, this is peanuts compared to what they could have been sued for. I mean, at least in America. It's pretty illegal in America. I'm guessing it is in Britain, too. There's a lot more wiretapping happening in Britain than there is in America. So I feel like the fines might be stiffer here. Unsure. That's just my guess. The last wiretapping that I know of is Watergate. It's quite a while ago. What was that, the 1960s? So, all right. So William gets paid £1 million because apparently there was some stuff that it didn't say what they paid off. It's part of the settlement. They paid a little bit of money and £1 million. But Harry received nothing because there were no tapes. They didn't have any information on Harry. But Harry's upset because William got money again. Mm-hmm. Do you know, I just found this out recently, that before William and Kate were married or shortly after they were married, at one point they were at a friend's house in the backyard and they were swimming and Kate had her top off. She was wearing a bikini and she had her top off and they published her from the front in the newspaper. Oh my gosh. It baffles my mind to think that that would happen. But Harry and Meghan are the victims because they're not always nice to them in the paper. Ugh. Going on. Oh, so now Harry says that the reason why there were no tapes on Harry is because his father was involved in the cover-up so that Harry wouldn't get the money, I guess. That is the only logic I can follow on that plan. I don't know. Harry's so delusional. Moving on. Why not hire your own lawyer? Asked Sherborne. By suing newspapers, he could discover if he had been hacked. That had never occurred to Harry. Under Sherborne's tutelage, the prince let him dictate the next steps. The Sussexes had crossed the boundary. They were about to embark on an 8-year battle against Britain's newspapers. And it's still going on. Definition of beating a dead horse. On their return to London, Harry consulted the royal family's trusted solicitor, Gerald Tyrrell. Yet the lawyer advised against suing News Group. Swiftly, Meghan convinced Harry that Tyrrell was taking directions from Clarence House. The same solicitor, and by the way, for those in America, solicitors are lawyers. They call them solicitors over there. What we call a lawyer. Okay. The same solicitor had advised Meghan not to sue the Mail on Sunday for breaching her privacy and copyright of publishing excerpts from her letters to her father. Meghan had ignored Tyrrell and the palace, and on Sherborne's advice, hired Shillings. Keith Shillings is an aggressive London solicitor, not previously employed by the royal family. Proudly, he is the antithesis of Tyrrell, a Puka West End lawyer. Not sure what Puka means, but maybe it's something to do with the region. Before he acted, Harry called William. His brother suggested that I seek permission from Granny. Harry called the Queen, and he claimed she agreed he could bring an action. Palace officials were not consulted. The timetable for what followed was set by Shillings. Relying on Sherborne and his publicists, Harry also agreed to issue court claims against Mirror Group newspapers and News UK for their unlawful activities. At the same time, Meghan would ignore the palace's advice and claim against the Mail on Sunday. Shillings's argument was precise. Meghan's relationship with her father was private. No public interest could justify breaching her copyright and privacy by publishing her letter. Again, can I just say, Catherine had photographs of her taken almost completely nude and published in the paper. She didn't sue. I don't think. I think there was a settlement. I don't think she needed to sue. Okay. I do know everybody in the royal family was really upset by it. And Catherine was the one that was like, well, whatever. She's probably like, I look good. No public interest could justify breaching the copyright. Okay. Attacking the media would be the Sussexes' curtain riser to leaving Britain. Their declaration of war was to be broadcast in South Africa. Chapter 7. Leaving Britain. On the eve of leaving for a 10-day official tour of South Africa on the 23rd of September, Beth, a private secretary in Kensington Palace, noticed that Meghan was suffering from baby blues. She's having a breakdown, Beth confided. She's very unhappy and Harry can't fix it. Well, Harry's always talking about all these counselors he's going to. Why isn't he having her go to one? Just want to know. Inquiring minds. Over the previous months, palace officials had devoted huge efforts to please the Sussexes' constant changing demands. Their procrastination and indecisiveness had, in the opinion of one senior palace advisor, become a sickness. Unexpectedly, even Archie became a tool of the Sussexes' brand. Meghan insisted that their son, at only 4 months old, should also come on the official tour to South Africa. Okay, I don't disagree. I don't begrudge her that. If I had a 4-month-old and I had to travel to South Africa to do royal engagements, I would insist that my baby come with me too. Just saying. Of course, I was still nursing at 4 months. I'm sure she wasn't. Palace officials were puzzled. Just 3 weeks earlier, Meghan had refused to visit the Queen at Balmoral because Archie was too young to fly. 3 weeks. Oh, what a difference 3 weeks makes. I forgot that. He's too young to fly. Now, all of a sudden, I can't fly without him. Some now understood her intentions and, more significantly, Harry's insincerity. Africa, Harry had repeatedly said, was critical to his life. Yet, it appeared that he was planning to ignore the importance of Britain's reputation during the tour to publicize his personal agenda. You know what I just thought of? I bet the reason why they never go back to Africa, and because I really thought that, I mean, it made it seem like Harry and Meghan were going to move there permanently, live there. I mean, it would have been the perfect place to do that, and they could still represent the royal family and the Commonwealth. Anyway, I think the reason why Meghan never wants to go is because Chelsea Davy. That's her land. That's her stomping ground. And so people are going to love Chelsea because she's done nothing wrong. Does she still live in South Africa? I feel like she kind of moved to the UK at one point. But now that she's married, I don't know if she's living in South Africa or not. But I bet that that's the reason why we never see Meghan go back. We've seen her in Africa, but not in South Africa. And the Commonwealth is not all of Africa, is it? I thought it was just South Africa that the Commonwealth represented. Correct me if I'm wrong. Again, I'm not really strong on my British history. All right. During the first days in South Africa, the tour was hugely successful. Corralled British journalists kept away from the Sussexes ecstatically reported Meghan's virtuoso speeches, posing as a mother, feminist, and advocate. She addressed eager audiences as a Hollywood celebrity, the woman's champion, the anti-racist warrior, and above all, your sister. The whole feminist thing just irks me. The only thing this woman has gotten in her life has been from a man, and she claims to be a feminist. She is not on her own carved any way or done anything. Daddy got her through all the private schools in Hollywood. Daddy paid for her to go to a private college. Daddy paid for acting classes for her. And then she hooked onto a producer, married him. That guy got her the show on Suits. She's ditched Daddy after she moved to Canada. After being in Canada a little bit, she ditched the producer, sent the wedding ring back, and then hooked on to a very famous chef in Toronto who was in the know, who knew everybody, who was hung out at Soho House all the time. Got her into Soho House, and now at Soho House, she's mixing and mingling with a bunch of people, eventually drops that guy and hooks on to Harry. Meets somebody who knows Harry and pretends like she doesn't know who he is, but it'd be great if I could meet him. And then now she's known worldwide because of Harry, because of now ditching the chef and hooking on to Harry and marrying him. She I mean, using men to get what you want. Is that what the new feminist thing is? I hope not. How horrible. Sorry. It's true, though. She's the anti-feminist. Okay, moving on. Unreported was the Sussexes' conduct. Both Meghan and Harry were ignoring advice from all of their courtiers. Sarah Latham, on the Sussexes' media staff, was seen in tears, and another member of her staff condemned Meghan as a nightmare. Jason Knopf and the human resource director, Samantha Carruthers, had both resigned. Carruthers complained of being treated harshly. Those convulsions remained unreported by the media, but worse was imminent. Harry planned to deliver a bombshell statement prepared by his lawyers in London. Ignoring pleas by palace officials not to ruin the tour, Harry fired his first shot. Journalists in South Africa were directed to read Harry's post on the Sussexes' official website that had been drafted by Sherborne. The prince denounced the press pack for relentless propaganda against Meghan by pursuing a game, and one that we have been unwilling to play from the start, Harry continued. Unfortunately, my wife has become one of the latest victims of a British tabloid press that wages campaigns against individuals with no thought to the consequences. A ruthless campaign that has escalated over the past year. Throughout her pregnancy and while raising our newborn son. There is a human cost to this relentless propaganda, specifically when it is knowingly false and malicious. And though we have continued to put on a brave face, as so many of you can relate to, I cannot begin to describe how painful it has been. Because in today's digital age, press fabrications are repurposed as truth across the globe. I just want to say, repurposing the truth is exactly what Harry and Meghan did in the entire Oprah and Netflix interview and documentary. Okay. One day's coverage is no longer tomorrow's chip paper, end quote. And my apologies for my awful British accent. Clearly forgetting her New York baby shower, Harry claimed that the media had created a lie after lie at her expense Harry claimed that the media had created lie after lie at her expense simply because she has not been visible while on maternity leave, end quote. While failing to identify the lies, he revealed their anguish. Yeah. I can't tell you what lies they're telling, but I can tell you how horrible it is for my wife. Let me count the ways of how miserable she is and thus how miserable I am. Because of the media. What did the media do, Harry? I can't give specifics, but they did stuff and I will sue. Okay. I have been a silent witness to her private suffering for too long. To stand back and do nothing would be contrary to everything we believe in. There comes a point when the only thing to do is to stand up to this behavior because it destroys people and destroys lives. Put simply, it is bullying, which scares and silences people. We all know this isn't acceptable. End quote. Finally, he referenced Princess Diana. Oh, that's the worst. I hate it when they play the Princess Diana card. I do. The omnipresent shadow of his mother. Meghan, he said, was falling victim to the same powerful forces, and his deepest fear in history repeating itself. I've seen what happens when someone I love is commoditized to the point that they are no longer treated or seen as a real person. I lost my mother, and now I watch my wife falling victim to the same powerful forces. seriously. Can I point out again that somebody went and snuck pictures of Catherine topless and put them in the paper? The only example he can give is that they were upset and they wanted to see Meghan while she was recuperating after the birth of the child. They wanted to see her more often. I mean, maybe because you prevented the media from doing the normal, I'm going to stand on the steps and hold the baby picture. Maybe because you lied about when the baby was born. Like, maybe people just have a lot of questions because you're creating the drama, you two. They create all this, like, they make people ask questions and be like, well, what? That doesn't make sense. How can it be that the palace said they're on their way to the hospital and the baby had been born already in the hospital? So are they on their way to, or are they on the way to the hospital because somebody else was giving birth to their child because they used a surrogate? I don't know. I'm just throwing things out. That's all. Ruth Carroll, you want to know if I'm wearing? Yes, I am wearing Diana's jewelry. This is straight from the Princess's collection. Meghan would be so jealous. Okay, where was I? Oh, and can I also point out that when Catherine was diagnosed with cancer and undergoing treatment and had 3 small children at home that they had not told the story to yet, the media was going insane and accusing her of all kinds of stuff for not coming out and talking. No privacy. But Meghan's the victim. Right. Shortly afterwards, legal firm Schillings issued a high court claim on Meghan's behalf against the Mail on Sunday. British judges, Keith Schilling knew, could be trusted to protect the royal family from embarrassment. The Mail on Sunday, oh, interesting. British judges can be trusted to protect the royal family from embarrassment. So is that going to come into play with Harry's lawsuit again? Will it be an embarrassment to the crown if Harry is found guilty? Or not guilty, but if the lawsuit is deemed frivolous and dropped and he doesn't win? I wonder. The Mail on Sunday, Meghan claimed, was deliberately stirring up a dispute between Meghan and Thomas Markle as part of an agenda. Her father, described as a vulnerable and fragile individual, had been exploited, harassed, and manipulated by the media. Oh, really? Those were her words? If she feels like that about her poor father, then how can she now cut him off completely and be mad at him for the things that the media manipulated him to do? If she knows he was manipulated into taking those pictures and sharing certain things, if she knows that, then how, pray tell, I ask. I just noticed I have my red, white, and blue around. It's in tribute to the red, white, and blue is England's colors too. There you go. Because downstairs I have my red, white, and blue pillows on the couch. So I made this border, forgetting I'd probably come up to the desk. Okay. Anyway, my apologies. I just realized none of the colors here are matching. I've got Monet pictures here. I've got black pictures. Oh, you're good. This is all a hot mess going on, but thank you for understanding. Okay. Quote, hysterical, ill-advised, hot-headed, self-indulgent, and over-emotional were a few of the newspaper's verdicts about Harry's statement and Meghan's high court claim. The mood on the tour turned sour. Can I just point out too that the palace knew that they were thinking about making this announcement and specifically asked, please don't do it while you're on this tour. Do the tour and then come back and we'll talk through it and everything. So this is Harry and Meghan going rogue. It's probably Meghan's idea and Harry following whatever Meghan says. The mood on the tour turned sour. The Sussexes had tainted months of hard work to improve Britain's status in South Africa. The third assault, a full frontal attack on the royal family, was simultaneously being filmed in South Africa for ITV by Tom Bradley, a trusted friend of Harry's. The TV documentary, Harry and Meghan, An African Journey, was meant to focus on the Sussexes talking about South Africa's human tragedies. Oh, yeah, that's not going to happen. Meghan does not. She can't go to any event and talk about the charity and the cause and what good it's doing and how you can help it. Every time she's asked to speak, she gets up there and she talks about Meghan. I can't believe it. I can't believe a little girl like me is here. Do you know what I've done in my life? She makes it all about Meghan. So there is no way they were able to go on this African tour and talk about another charity. No. It was meant to focus on the Sussexes talking about South Africa's human tragedies. Instead, the Sussexes used Bradby to issue their declaration of war. She made it all about Meghan. I'm telling you, it's the MO every time. It never fails. She can't do it. She just can't do it. Like, I think she'd break out in hives and start itching too much. So she's like, I just need to talk about myself for at least like 70% of it. And then I can sprinkle in about the children or about the whatever's going on here. Seemingly uninterested in the distressful lives of the people living in a nearby township as portrayed by ITV, the Sussexes spoke about their own plight. It's classic. I'm telling you. To this day, it's still happening. Harry retold how Diana's death had brought him close to a breakdown. The trauma of walking. I just want to also say, he has a brother that went through the same thing, and we don't hear a peep from him. Okay. He's not the only, nor is Harry the only one to have lost a parent. Okay. The trauma of walking behind his mother's coffin in public reminded him of the bad stuff in a wound that festers. Okay, you can't blame the media for that. That was just a decision that was made by the palate. In fact, I want to say, didn't we read that it was Queen Elizabeth's husband, Philip, Prince Philip? I feel like he's the one that encouraged the boys to do it and said, I think you'll regret it if you don't. Like, I don't think they were forced, but they were like young and encouraged to do it, so they just did. He continued, I think being part of this family, in this role, in this job, every single time I see a camera, every single time I hear a click, every single time I see a flash, it takes me straight back. So in that respect, it's the worst reminder of her life as opposed to the best. I get into therapy, that's all I can say. Then he made his bombshell revelation. Persuaded by Meghan that all relationships were dispensable. That's Meghan's MO. Every relationship is dispensable. Harry, you're going to be one day too. You will be. As soon as you're still needed. She may not like you. She might not be sleeping with you. She might not be living in the same house as you for all we know. But she needs you because Meghan Markle's absolutely nothing without Harry. She has a chance of like clawing and just hanging on with her little nails to royal titles right now. Harry disclosed that his relationship with William was fractured. We're on different paths at the moment. Meghan provided an even more explosive interview. Clearly rehearsed, she dramatically bit her lip in the falling light as she whispered to Bradby that she felt vulnerable during her pregnancy, how the pressure was hard, and the experience of just trying to be a new mother or trying to be a newlywed was made really challenging. As tears welled up, I bet it was one tear left eye. She blamed the British tabloids for trying to destroy her life. American newspapers, she emphasized, would never criticize her. Quote, I really tried to adopt the sensibility of the British stiff upper lip. I never thought this would be easy, but I thought it would be fair. Oh, it's more than fair. More than fair. You got more than anyone else. You were invited to Christmas before you were even married. Even Princess Catherine, the future Queen of England, was not given that courtesy. Huh. All right. Would it be fair, asked Bradby, to say that she is not really okay? Another tear dramatically fell as Meghan replied with a swipe at the royal family. Yes, and also, thank you for asking. Because not many people have asked if I'm okay. It's all about Meghan. But it's a very real thing to be going through behind the scenes. With a hint of more tears, she deftly added another rehearsed line, quote, "It's not enough to just survive something, right? That is not the point to life. You've got to thrive." All right, well, that's a bunch of BS. That's not true. Everybody doesn't have to thrive. That's just like life. Life comes with ups and downs. And sometimes, especially after you just have a baby, you're just trying to survive. But you live in a palace with maids and servants and cooks and a nanny or two or three, and your mom is with you. I think you're surviving, Meghan. The most miserable, entitled people, I tell ya. Left dangling was the Sussex's future. I don't know, replied Meghan. You do just take each day as it comes. Harry had already made his plans. I did what any husband and father would do. I needed to get my family out of there. My accent switches from a bad British accent to like just really dumb and stupid. So it's kind of a combination. But if you're wondering what accent I'm doing, I don't really know, but it sort of depends on the sentence. All right. The royal tour came to an abrupt end, and the pair returned to Britain confident and courageous, as recalled by a palace employee. 2 years later, Meghan claimed that during her marriage, she had been forcibly silenced by the palace, not allowed to express any opinions. No, that's not true. Yet, their defiance at the time had made their South African tour a success for themselves. Harry was summoned to Buckingham Palace to meet Edward Young and Clive Alderton, the Queen and Charles' private secretaries. Tall, with floppy hair, Alderton, age 52, educated at Abingdon School, had entered the Foreign Office despite not going to university. After serving as a diplomat, he had been appointed to work in Clarence House in 2006, shortly after Charles's and Camilla's marriage. To have survived in Charles's service for that long proved Alderton had exceptional talent, never to challenge his employer. As a charming, old-school courtier, he could both reassure Charles of his obedience, but also steer his employer in the right direction. By contrast, Young, age 53, bespectacled and stubby, was a cautious, former corporate head of communications who had been deputy to Christopher Geit, the Queen's legendary and loyal private secretary. Geit had been ousted in 2017 by Charles and Prince Andrew for seeking to control their dangerous excesses. Both princes, really struggling reading tonight. Both princes were involved in what Geit believed were damaging financial activities. Well, that's interesting. So he's trying to point out that Prince Charles and Prince Andrew were being frivolous with money, and so they fired him. And in Andrew's case, particularly his relationship with the American pedophile Jeffrey Epstein, Geit wanted to control both princes from Buckingham Palace. Yet, despite his impressive military bearing, Geit's weakness was arguably his lack of leadership qualities. After his dismissal, the royal households were staffed by contrary courtiers, especially Young versus Alderton, each guarding their fiefdoms, torn between serving individual members of the royal family and the institution of the monarchy. To the crown's misfortune, Young had been an ideal deputy, but was regarded by insiders to have been promoted above his abilities. In the case of Harry's war against the media, Alderton and Young were united. Both demanded that Harry did not sue News UK. Harry ignored their advice. There was worse to come. ITV planned to broadcast Bradby's South African interviews during the Cambridge's official visit to Pakistan. Of course, Meghan is classic. Just wait. Whatever the next royal event is happening, Meghan's social media will drop some sort of information. It could be like sometimes she's just desperate and it's just like a photo dump. Like and one of them is going to be like a thirst trap picture of me. And then I'm going to have a random picture of my jam. And then I'll have a picture of one of my kids and then a picture of Harry and I in love from 7 years ago. Like it'll just be these like whatever random shots. Here's a tree. She will just drop a whole bunch of photos. But usually it's, oh, I have information to share with you. So exciting about the business. We're going to now be selling dog biscuits. Classic. She was doing it all the way back then. ITV planned to broadcast for every South African thing. Okay. The interview is going to be on the official visit to Pakistan. Okay. The tour was important both for British diplomacy and to showcase Kate's transformation during her maternity leave into a more glamorous, self-confident woman. Harry was asked to negotiate with ITV to delay the broadcast. He refused. It was a move that was judged to be wanton sabotage of the Cambridges. An almost unnoticed casualty was another TV documentary crafted to promote Camilla. Among members of the royal family, the Sussexes had lost the benefit of any doubt. On the 12th of November, Hillary Clinton visited Meghan at Frogmore House. As Meghan unloaded her anxieties, Clinton offered her unqualified understanding. Meghan's treatment, Clinton believed, was heartbreaking and wrong. In the politician's opinion, Meghan's meteoric rise was being crushed by the royal family. The Sussexes, she believed, were struggling to have a life of meaning and integrity on their own terms. That's so interesting. Hillary, what a dumb statement. They were struggling to have a life of meaning and integrity on their own terms. Like, this is how I define integrity. I want a life of integrity on my terms, as I see it. Clinton, it appeared, had willingly participated in Meghan's well-crafted choreography to escape from the royal family. I want to know if there's any proof of that, because I'd love to know what it was, if it's true. There's no citation. By then, Meghan's publicist, Keely Thomas Morgan, had found a temporary home for the Sussexes, a secluded seaside mansion on Vancouver Island, conveniently north of Los Angeles. 3 weeks later, the Sussexes arrived at Millefleurs, a luxurious 5-bedroom waterfront mansion where they would be guarded by 6 Canadian government protection officers. Their stay had been arranged by the 71-year-old Canadian music producer David Foster, a friend and neighbor in Santa Barbara. A friend and neighbor in Santa Barbara of Oprah Winfrey, and soon to be the Sussexes. Like Meghan, Foster was represented by Keely Thomas Morgan. Craziness. Ruth said that she's been very cranky towards Meghan and Harry since the fake car chase in New York City. Yeah. That, I mean, if that didn't make them look ridiculous, I don't know what they were trying to prove. And the taxi drivers, like there was never a chase. The little guy goes by on his bicycle. Choo-choo! Oh, there he is. Oh my gosh. Being followed again. I don't know. We know it's all an act for Meghan, but I don't know if it seemed like Harry was playing along, but I think she just got him convinced that things were happening, even though he has to look around and see that there's no people. But I think she convinces him so much that he's just kind of that dumb. Anyway, let's wrap this up. Officially, the Sussexes would not spend Christmas in Sandringham after all. Their spokesman briefed that the couple would establish a presence in the Commonwealth country. Right. We'll see how long that lasts. From Vancouver, said her spokesman, Meghan could resume her business activities. Located in the same time zone as Los Angeles, Meghan was in constant communication with Andrew Meyer, her business manager, Rick Ganow, her lawyer, and Keely Thomas Morgan. Together, they plotted the final journey to Los Angeles. And we will read about Sandringham next week, because that's chapter 8. So funny how they denied going to Sandringham, and yet now they're begging to go. And the family's like, no. We'll unofficially meet you someplace else after you go through a metal detector and are frisked so that we know you're not recording everything. Hi, Truth Ray. Oh, good. Starting from the beginning. Very good. Ladybird's mom's here too. Hello. Very good. And Ashley, hi. All right. Key Queen said all Harold has is a newspaper. His life revolves around who's watching him. Yeah, there's a lot of people who were saying that he would just doom scroll like crazy, even back at the palace. Like all night long, he would doom scroll. But then he would get upset with the people around him for the media saying negative stuff about him and ask them to put an end to it. But they could never find anything in the media that would say the things that he said they were saying. So what was happening is people on social media that were expressing their opinions were upsetting him. He's clearly against free speech. He's not going to do well in America. He needs to go back to London. All right. All right. Oh, Spoon Spooky. Hello. Good to see ya. They wanted film so Meghan could pretend to be just like Diana in a movie. I think so. She was trying to like reenact but it's, I mean, it's a good comedy. They could make a movie out of it. I can't believe more people haven't done more spoofs on it. I can't believe that South Park hasn't done something about their delusion of people following them. And Harry right now insisting that they need top-notch security wherever they go because of his stalker. And the stalker was a fan. It wasn't like a stalker like your life is threatened. It was a fan that wouldn't leave him alone because they were obsessed. Welcome to the world of being on film, out in the public, a public figure of any kind. I mean, people are going to like you. People are going to want to be around you. People are going to follow you. That doesn't mean you need the top level security that each country has to provide if you go to it, wherever you go. He just doesn't want to sit in LA traffic anymore. Let's face it. Because when you have that level of security, you don't. Everything gets cleared. You have other ways to go, or they throw you onto a helicopter. Yeah. It's the delusion. I just can't believe South Park hasn't done such a great clip of them in the car freaking out, and then little Wizard of Oz lady going by with Toto. There, with that dog too. They're out to get us. Just delusional. It'll be interesting. It will be interesting to see what happens with this upcoming big reveal that in another year I'm going to have an event. To see what level of security. He gets security when he goes to the country. He just needs to give 30 days notice, which he has. So he's going to get security, but he wants another level of security. I don't know. The time will tell. I'll keep you apprised. Okay. Spoon Spook, we call them the Temu Royal. Yeah, they are. The Temu Royals. He's a Temu Royal, and Meghan doesn't even I just feel like she doesn't deserve the term royal. She made it 18 months, and then she got out of Dodge, and then she's trying to monetize the royalty and do all the things that the royal family said don't do. Like, what about her is royal? And yet everything she's trying to hawk is like British teas and scones and jam. Well, spread. And she shows it on a scone. We call scones, they call them, with cream. I don't know what that cream stuff is, but we don't have that here. We just put butter in America. Like, she's selling the stuff. She's clearly not going to sell it. It's just, she's trying to make everything like everything's a tea party on Crystal and all that. I'm like, I don't think that's the life Meghan Markle led. I believe Meghan Markle lived in like a big white box that everyone else in LA. Big, huge mansion that's like all white walls, white furniture, white floors, white everything. Mm-hmm. All right. And the candles don't have wicks that she's selling. Mm-hmm. For $20 each. I think they're more than $20, actually. I think they're more than $20. It's a good joke. But I tell you what, I think they're more than 20. It's unbelievable. All right, I got to get ready for my next live stream and upload some stuff. So I'm going to take off, but I will see you back here next Sunday night. Take care, my queens. And we will start with chapter 8 next week. Goodbye, friends.
my God, it's crazy. You're like, Megan, one tear, left eye, go. Give me 3 seconds.
With a camera trained in front of her, crying. One tear, left eye, go.